Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to do a Pilates core-based workout. I have one of the little small core balls that I'm going to use throughout class today. If you do not have a small ball or something like this that you can use, you can get a hand towel or a smaller towel and kind of roll it up. And then where we place it behind the knee, you can place the towel there. And then if you decide at any point in time, whether you have a ball or not, that you either don't want to use the ball or the towel, that is perfectly fine. You can just set everything aside and do everything that we're going to do either without the ball or the towel. But if you have one of these at home, I love them, and so I'm going to show you today why I love them. But again, please feel free to either use a towel or don't use anything at all. So if you have a ball or a towel, we're just going to set it to the side for now, and we'll grab it in just a little bit. We are actually going to start on our feet, and we're going to come to the back of our mat. Oh, just a reminder, I'm not playing any music today here, just so that the audio can hear me a little bit better, but please feel free to put on some nice music that you like to listen to while we do our workout. So we're going to start at the back corner or the back edge of your mat. Feet are right and parallel underneath the hips. We're going to start with a roll down. The chin is going to tuck to the chest. As we slowly roll ourselves down one vertebrae at a time, the hands do not have to get to the floor, but I want you just to soften the knees and relax through the back of the neck and the upper back. Now pushing through the feet, we're going to slowly roll ourselves up one vertebrae at a time. Head, neck, and shoulders come up last with a nice big shoulder roll. Let's do that again. Chin tucks to chest. As we roll ourselves down, maybe we reach just a little bit farther this time, and then with a nice softness in the knees, we roll ourselves all the way back up to stand. So I'm going to start to add on. If you don't want to add on, you can stay right here. Chin tucks to chest as we roll ourselves down. Put a nice softness in the knees to get the hands all the way to the mat, and we're going to walk ourselves out into our plank position. So anytime we come to plank, hands are right underneath the shoulders, hips are in line with the spine. We're pushing through the palms to lift up through the chest as we widen the shoulder blades to through the outside of the back. Now, here you can always be on your toes. When we come to plank, you can always drop to the knees and come to a kneeling plank. From that plank, belly's going to pull in and up as we pipe the hips to the ceiling into our downward facing dog. We're going to soften the knees and walk the hands all the way back to the feet, rolling ourselves up one vertebrae at a time. Head, neck, and shoulders are going to come up last with a nice big shoulder roll. Let's do that all the way through again. Chin tucks to chest, we roll ourselves down. Soften the knees, hands come to connect to the floor as we walk those hands out into our plank position. Again, nail this plank, lift up through the chest, hips are in line with the spine. Momentum is out the window as we pull that belly in and up to pipe the hips to the ceiling into our downward facing dog. And then we walk those hands back towards the feet, rolling ourselves up one vertebrae at a time. Head, neck, and shoulders come up last. So this time we're going to walk out into plank and hold it there. Chin's going to tuck to chest. We roll ourselves down, soften the knees, place the hands all the way on the floor as we walk ourselves out into our plank position and holding here. So you can always drop to the knees and take the hips back to the heels, or if you're up on the toes, we're going to pipe the hips to the ceiling into your downward facing dog. Once again, using the core, not momentum, shift back forward into that full plank. Belly in and up as we take the hips all the way to the ceiling and then slowly lower back down. This is your pace, your range of motion. See if you can allow the movement to match the breath as it flows in and out. Lengthen through the back of the neck here. Nice. Take those hips high. Next time you pipe the hips to the ceiling, we're going to hold it right there. Can we root through that right hand and let that left hand either reach to the outside of the right thigh, shin, or calf as we open up through the back of the shoulders here. Nice. Slowly let the left hand come back to connect as we shift back into our plank. Again, hips are going to go high. Hold here in your downward facing dog to start. Rooting through that left hand. That right hand's going to cross the center line of the body here as we reach either to the outside of the thigh, shin, or ankle. Feeling a little opening through the backs of the shoulder blades here. Lengthen through the back as we pipe the hips all the way to the ceiling. Slowly, slowly let that right hand come back to connect. as we shift into our plank position. So now both hands are going to stay rooted and we're going to start to lift the feet. So if you do not want to pick or if you want to leave the knees connected to the floor, let the knees stay connected to the floor. Belly in and up as we take the hips back to the ceiling. This time, that right leg is going to lift. As we shift forward into plank, that right knee comes to the chest. We hold in your core plank and then push that right leg back. So we're just shifting forward and back just like we did before. This time, that right leg only stays lifted as we draw the right knee towards the chest and then shift the hips back, taking that right leg up towards the ceiling. Again, this is your pace and your range of motion. You can let that left knee come to connect to the floor at any point in time. Nice job. So take your time here. That belly pulls in and up. That knee drives up towards the chest, maybe putting that little C curve in the back here as you come forward into that plank. You got it. Let's take 2 more here. 1 more full one. Now let that right knee come all the way down the center line of the body. We're going to hold right here. Push through the palms, lift up, and then without kicking back, let that right foot come between the hands in your low lunge. So I want you to shift the weight forward and take that right knee over the ankle. Lift up here through the chest. Now, left toes can always stay on the floor. We're just going to shift forward onto that right foot and slightly unload. Shift forward onto that right foot. Don't let the knee push out past the toes, but just start to feel this weight shift. Maybe we start to take that left foot up off the floor as we balance on that right leg and then slowly lower back down. Toes can stay connected. If you're lifting the left foot, it does not matter how high it goes. Nice, lift up through that chest. Try not to round through the upper back here. Now, can we lift and hold that left foot up off the floor? Taking the left foot to tap the back of the right calf, we sink into that right leg and then push back. We bend that right knee as we sink into the leg and then push back. Should immediately start to feel it in the top of that right calf here as we just sink into that single leg squat. 2 more here. Take your time. 1 more. That left leg is going to go all the way back into your lunge. Pull that belly in and up. Take that right foot all the way back into your 3-legged dog and then exhale, downward facing dog. Both hands and both feet on the floor as we shift forward into our full plank. Belly in and up, hips back to the ceiling. Nice. So we're going to do that exact same thing on your left side. So next time the hips go all the way to the ceiling, we're going to hold it right there. Root through that right foot. Lift that left leg up. As we shift to plank, left knee comes to the chest, and then we push back. So as we come forward into that plank, can we soften those elbows ever so slightly? And then as that knee drives to the chest, push through the palms. Little C curve in the back as we lift up and really engage through the front of the core here. Nice, working on your inhale and exhale. Drawing the knee in and pushing back. 2 more here. Take your time. We're going to draw that left knee back into the chest. Push through the palms. Lift that knee all the way up without kicking back. Let that left foot come between the hands in your low lunge. Take the knee over the ankle. Lift up through that chest. Feel that weight shift forward onto the left foot. Slowly shift back. Again, we're not pushing the knee out past the toes. We're just feeling this little weight shift forward and back. Now you can start to lift that right foot up off the floor. Don't round through the shoulders and the upper back. Stay lifted here. Nice. Again, you can keep right toes connected to the floor and just stay in weight shift. If you want to pick that right foot up, let's hold it there, sinking into that left leg. Bend the left knee, right foot comes to tap the back of the calf. Push the right leg back. We sink, we push, squeezing through the back of the body here, and then letting that left quad fire off. Lift up and lengthen through the back of the neck here. You got this. Come on, 2 more. Take your time. Let that right foot Connect back to the floor. In your low lunge, use the core. Pick the belly up. Take that left foot all the way back. In your three-legged dog, and then the left foot connects to the floor. Last time, root through both hands and both feet. Shift forward into plank. Bellying it up as we pike the hips to the ceiling. Slowly come forward and then take it back. Nice. 2 more here. You got it. 1 more. All the way to plank and then pike. Now come back forward in that plank position. I personally am going to drop to my knees. If you want to stay up on the toes, awesome. Stay up on the toes. Hands are a little wider than shoulder width apart. We're going to lift up through that chest. Wide arm push up as we lower and lift. So neck is nice and long. We're not tucking the chin to the chest. Gaze goes forward, out in front of the fingertips, maybe even out on onto the top of the mat. So I'm going to add a little cadence here. If you want to stay with these single push-ups, great. Stay here. You got it. 2 more singles. Take your time. Now, can you lower halfway in that push-up and take a triple pulse? It goes 3, 2, 1. Push up. Down. 3, 2, 1. And lift. 3, 2. Belly is in and up. Come on. 3, 2, 1. 2 more sets. 3, 2, 1. 1 more. 3, 2. Take it back to the singles. We lower, we lift. We lower, we lift. 3 more here. 2, 1 more. Can you lower that chest and belly all the way flat to the floor? Nice. Take those hands right underneath the shoulders. Untuck the toes. Now, belly is pulled in and up. Maybe we're creating a teeny tiny little pocket between the belly and the floor. Maybe we're not, and that's a-okay, but I want you to draw those hands narrow and elbows come in. This time, we're going to push through the palms as we lift that chest up into our little baby cobra and slowly lower down. So our goal here is to fire off the triceps as we push through the palms and pull the upper arms and elbows right into the sides of the rib cage. Nice. 2 more here. Take your time. Finish the one you're on. As we come down, we're going to release the hands and stretch those arms out in front of us. Now, forehead is still lifted up off the floor. So we're taking the neck in line with the spine and reaching the crown of the head away from the base of the toes. We're going to lift opposite arm, opposite leg. So right arm, left leg, and left arm, right leg. So big squeeze through the back side of the body here. Still feeling the front of the core pull in and up away from the floor. Nice job. So yes, we are lifting towards the ceiling, but I want you to imagine that I'm grabbing onto your wrist and your ankle and pulling you in the opposite direction here to lengthen through the back of the neck and down the spine. Now you can stay right here, alternating opposite arm, opposite leg, or you can start to lift both arms and both legs. So I personally, for the front of my shoulder and rotator cuff, like to open my arms out here into a little goal post. Totally up to you. Or you can keep those arms stretched out overhead, your choice. Nice. So you've got 4 more singles, and we're going to hold it up here. Take your time. 2 more. Now I want you to lift and hold here. Those arms are going to stretch back out overhead. Staying on your right side, we're going to reach that right hand to the outside of the right thigh and come back. Stay on this side. Right hand to the right thigh, lift back up. So that left arm just stretches out away from the shoulder as we squeeze and lift those legs up. 2 more here. Take your time. Now, right arm goes overhead and stays as that left hand reaches to the outside of that left hip. So stay up off the floor with the chest and the legs. Squeeze through that side oblique as we reach. Come on, 2 more. This is it. Stay lifted. Reach those arms up overhead. Take a little baby pulse, going for a swim in those arms and legs. We just pump 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Lift up and squeeze. Come on, pull that belly in and up. You have 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, hands come back underneath the shoulders, push through the palms, hips back to the heels as we reach those arms all the way up overhead. Nice job. You can take a little C curve in the back here, little counter stretch from where we were. Then when you're ready, we're gonna slowly come up and we're gonna grab onto our ball. Please feel free to grab some water anytime you need to. So we're gonna take our ball. Listen, there is always a method to my madness, right? Yes. So please follow me. We're gonna stay on the right side, then go to the left, then we're gonna go back to the right and back to the left, okay? So if you have a ball or a towel, we're gonna take the ball and place it behind the right knee. So the ball is there to remind you to squeeze the calf and the hamstring together so that we can engage that posterior chain. With the ball behind the right knee, we're gonna come down into our tabletop position. So here, hands and wrists are directly under the shoulders. We're gonna take the knees underneath the hips. Now, if the wrists start to bother you, you can take the hands to fists. In this exercise, you can even draw the elbows down coming onto the forearms. Even though we've hinged forward at the hips, we're still working the posterior chain the exact same way. So if that's more comfortable for you, feel free to go there. To start, on that right side, we're going to flex that right ankle. Hips and shoulders stay square to the floor as we lift and lower that right leg up. So I want you to imagine that you're taking the base of the foot and stamping it on the ceiling. Belly pulls in and up. We want to work to flatten out through the back, particularly taking that arch out in the lower back so that we can squeeze through the back of that right glute. You got it. Take your time here. So you move at your pace through your range of motion with your breath. Take 2 more here. Now we're gonna lift that right leg back up. Stay here and take a little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. So again, flexing the ankle, pushing the base of the foot to the ceiling. Hold here. You have 4, 3, don't let the knee come all the way down. We're just gonna lower underneath the hip and lift out to the side. So we lift and we lower. Now we're not leaning into that left side body. It's rooting underneath you, yes, but I want you to keep hips and shoulders square to the floor as you push through both hands here. Again, our range of motion is less lateral as it is going back and forth here in the hip. So you take your range of motion. You got it. 2 more here. Now again, we're gonna lift and hold that right leg up. Can you point the toe this time, drawing that right knee up towards the elbow or tricep, and then push that foot back. So again, going back into that right side body. We've externally rotated the hip ever so slightly, which is a-okay, but I want you to keep the chest square to the floor here so that we can squeeze through that right side. Nice job. Let's take 4 here. 2 more. Now don't drop that right leg. Keeping the toe pointed, lift that right leg up and re-square the hips to the floor. Pick a direction and we draw big circles with that right leg. Nice. Knee leads the way. Again, doesn't matter which way you're going. Just think about it as we make those big circles on your right side. Nice. Take 2 more here. Coming through center, just reverse the direction of those circles and take it the other way. Again, belly is in and up. Try to flatten out that back. Neck is in line with the spine. We don't want to dip that chin to the chest. You got it. Come on, make that range of motion just a little bit bigger. Come on, 4 here. 2 more. Now, don't drop that right leg. Lift back up. Flex that ankle 1 more time and take that little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Finish here. You have 8, 6, 4, 3, 2. Slowly lower down. Nice job. Take that ball out. If you need to push the hips back to the heels as we reach those arms up overhead into your child's pose, go for it. We are going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So again, please make sure you switch sides. Ball's going to go behind that left knee. Again, pull in to the crease of the knee. and then squeeze between the calf and the hamstring. You can always take that towel that's rolled up and place it behind the knee, or just bend the knee and keep the ankle flexed if you don't want anything behind the knee. Again, hands underneath those shoulders, coming to fists or coming down onto the forearms. If you're on the forearms, keep the elbows narrow underneath the shoulder joint and don't let them flare open to the side. Again, flatten out that back. Especially when we're in that tabletop, we tend to go here. I want you to pull that belly in and up and flatten out through that lower back in particular. Flexing the left foot, we go back to that straight lift and lower right down the center line of the body as we take the base of the foot to the ceiling and slowly come back down. Nice job, doing great. So this left side just stabilized you the entire time we worked our right leg. So it might fatigue just a little bit faster, and that is A-okay. You got 4 more singles here. Take your time, 2 more. Now we're gonna lift that right leg up, keep the ankle flexed, square the hips, take your pulse. Big squeeze through the back of that left glute, taking the ball between the calf and the hamstring here. Nice, 4 here. 3. Again, we're not gonna drop the knee all the way down, but it comes down so that we can lift and lower straight out to the side, working through the outside of the thigh and hip. I promise you, and this is a promise I'm gonna keep, we're gonna go back to the outside of the thigh and hip in just a little bit, but just priming here. You got it. 4 more. Take your time. We're gonna lift that left leg up. Try not to lean into the right side body. Point that toe, lengthen through the front of the ankle, and then we drive left knee towards that left elbow or tricep, and then push back to feel that opening through the front of the hip. Nice. Again, we've opened up that hip flexor just a little, but just try to keep the shoulders and chest square to the floor. Nice. Big squeeze down that side body. 4 here. 3, take your time, keeping that toe pointed, square up, lift that left leg to the ceiling, pick a direction, and we draw big circles with that left leg, squeezing through the glute, working on the mobility and the flexibility in the hip here as we take those circles nice and big. You got it, come on, 4 here. Nice, think about which direction you move in. Come back through center and we reverse the direction of those circles, taking it the other way. Nice job. Again, stay in control through the core. Big squeeze through the back side of the body. 4 more wherever you are. Take your time, 2 more. Again, don't drop the knee. Lift that left leg up, flex the foot, re-square back to the floor, and take your pulse. You got it. Squeeze on that ball. You have 8. 6, 4, 3, 2, let that knee come all the way back down to the floor. Ball can come out as we push the hips back to the heels and reach those arms up overhead. Nice job. Roll out those wrists. Set the ball to the side. We're gonna grab it in just a second. One more thing in our plank before we flip onto our side. So we're gonna come back into our tabletop position. This time, we're gonna walk the hands a couple inches forward to make some space for the hips to come in line with the spine. Those hands are gonna come right underneath the shoulder joints as we tuck the toes to keep the feet nice and active. Shifting the hips back to the heels, reach the arms up overhead, and then come forward into your kneeling plank. So we're gonna start with the upper body, and then we're gonna take it to the lower body as we progress. Knees can stay on the floor the entire time. So we're not dropping the hips to the floor as we come forward into that kneeling plank. Really pull tight through the front of the core here. Now you can stay in this little flow forward and back, or at the top of that kneeling plank, if you want to add that little half push-up, feel free to take it. Nice job. So lifting up through the chest, taking the gaze forward. If you take the push-up, you can take your range of motion, but I want you to feel the upper arms and the elbows sweep right past the rib cage and then push through the palms to go back. Nice. Let's find 4 more here. You're doing great. Take your time. 2 more. Next time, the hips go back to the heels. I want you to hold it there. Now you can stay on the knees or keeping the toes tucked. Can we lift the knees just about an inch or two off the floor? So you might need to walk those hands back a little closer to the shoulders. That is perfectly fine. Nice. So from here, we're going to take it off the knees as we crouch back, hips to heels, hovering the knees, and then push forward into that full plank. Hands might have to walk with you a little. We crouch back, and then we come forward. Again, you can stay on the knees just where we were, taking it into the legs. If you want, as we come forward, right knee to right elbow, shift back to that crouch, and then left knee to left elbow. So try not to tuck the chin in the chest. Open up through the upper back, whether you're on the knees or you're hovering the knees in that crouch. Then I want you to take it into the side body, into the top of the quad as we pull that knee up. You got it. I need 2 more on each side. Come on, finish right here. 1 more. Let it fire off. Once you're done, hips to heels, knees connect to the floor, untuck the toes, and push the hips back. Nice job. Take a nice deep breath here. As you come up, feel free to grab you some water. We're gonna have our ball within arm's reach here. We're gonna start without it, but then we're gonna grab it pretty quickly. So just have it within reach. We're gonna come onto our side. I need the left side to be connected to the floor with the right side lifted, okay? So when we were on our hands and knees, we started with the right leg, so that's where we're gonna go. When you come onto your side, you can either bend the bottom arm with the head resting in the hand, or you can straighten out the bottom arm and rest the head on the upper arm. It is totally whatever is most comfortable for your head, neck, and shoulders, okay? Ball is just within arm's reach. We're gonna take a little pike in the hips as the feet go to the front corner of the mat, okay? Our hips and shoulders are stacked. When we come onto our side, our goal is to work from the waist down. So that top right hand can come in front of the chest and help keep the torso from rocking back and forth. From the start to the end of this series, we pull that belly in and up and stay stabilized through the front of the core. Okay, our goal is to work the outside of the thigh, hip, and glute here, top hand in front. We're gonna point that right toe, that right leg's gonna lift up towards the ceiling. We flex the foot and lower down. We point as we lift, we flex as we lower. So we're not rolling back onto the back side of the body. We're staying on the bony part of the hip, and we're moving through your range of motion as we lift and lower. Nice. So I'm pointing and flexing the ankle here for the front of the shin and the calf. If you do not like that little point and flex, or it bothers the muscles in the base of the foot, I just want you to keep the ankle in a neutral position. Nice job. Let's take 2 more here. Now, without dropping this top right leg, bring it right back into parallel. We're gonna point that right toe, engage through the core, top hand in front. That right leg, we kick forward as we pulse twice, back behind as we pulse twice. So our goal here is to keep that right leg in parallel to the floor through the entire range of motion, okay? As you come forward, we engage through the front of the core. As the leg goes back, we're squeezing through that glute. You're gonna feel an opening in the front of that right hip flexor, but we're not pushing the hip forward. We're squeezing through the glute to take the leg back behind. You got it. Let's take 4 more each way. Take your time, 2 more. Now we're gonna go straight into those big leg circles. So straight right leg, we go forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. Again, that hand can stay right in front of the chest. This is your pace and your range of motion, but maybe the knee slows just a little so that we can really work to open up that right hip and take as big of a range of motion here as we possibly can. Nice. So I'm going to cue you, but just think about which direction you're moving. Let's find 2 more here. Take your time. 1 more. Coming back down, don't drop, just reverse the direction of those circles, taking it back, up, forward, and down. Back, up, forward, and down. Again, engage here through the front of the core. Really take that pace nice and slow so that we can increase that range of motion as large as we can. Nice. Slow pace, big range of motion. We're getting ready to flip it on its head here in just a second. Let's take 2 more here. Take your time, 1 more. So we're gonna let that right leg come down just long enough to take that ball or towel and place behind the top knee. Okay, top right knee takes the ball. Re-square up in the hips, stack the hips. Both knees are now bent. Both ankles are now flexed. Top hand comes in front. Engage the core. We're gonna go right back to what we did, now just with a bent knee and that lift and lower of that right leg. So our knee is facing forward. We will eventually externally rotate the hip and take the knee to the ceiling. But to start, the knee is forward so we can work the outside of the thigh, hip, and glute. Engage through that core. Nice. 4 here. Take your time. 2 more. Now that right leg comes into parallel. Knee draws to the chest as we pulse twice. Straight back behind as we pulse twice. Just like we did with that straight leg, now our knee is bent and we're squeezing onto that ball or towel with the hamstring and the calf. Nice. Let's take 4 more each way here and then we're going to add on. Take your time. 2 more. Now, try not to drop the leg. We're going to bring the inside arches of the feet together and move into a little clamshell. So your bottom foot is connected to the floor. Top foot is connected to that bottom foot. Here's where the external rotation in the hip starts to begin. As we lift up, we draw that knee to the ceiling and then slowly lower back down. You're going to feel that little pinpoint in the outside of that right hip as we pull that knee up and slowly lower down. Nice. Engage through the front of the core here. 4 more. Take your time. 2 more. Now lift that knee up and hold. We're going to point that right toe. Hip stays open. Knee drives to the shoulder. Big toes come back to touch. So as we open up this right hip, we've made some space so that we can really squeeze through that side body and draw that knee towards the shoulder. You got it. Again, we're not racing back down. Control that down and then drive back up with that side body. You've got 4 here. 2 more. Now, knee stays up at the ceiling, feet come back together. Watch, we're gonna roll the hip over, knee to knee, toe to toe. We roll the hip over for the knees to touch, open up the hip for the toes to touch. Nice, so internal rotation of the hip as the knees come together, external rotation of the hip as the toes come together. We're not rocking or rolling back and forth through the torso and the hips. We're taking the hip and rolling over and then opening back up, all in that hip joint here. You got it. Starting to feel some heat building in that right hip, right? Good. You got it. Come on, come on. Nice. Take 4 more here. Take your time. 2 more. Now we are not going to drop that right leg. Bring it right into parallel. You can keep the toe pointed or flex the ankle. This time, teeny tiny little circle, small range of motion. You have to brace through the front of the core, squeeze through the glutes to keep yourself stable. But as we take the range of motion a little smaller, we can really pick up that pace. Nice. Finding the stability in the core here. Think about which direction you're moving. Come back through center and reverse the direction of those circles, taking it the other way. You got it. Nice work. Finish here. You have 4 more. 3, just because I'm counting doesn't mean we're going to drop. Hold still. Pull that heel towards the glute. I want you to squeeze on that ball or the towel. Knee stays facing forward and lift that top leg up as high as you can go. Again, knee is forward, not rotated towards the ceiling. Take a little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. So do you remember how high that leg went when you were taking those big circles? This is the range of motion I want you to take. Nice. Ankle is flexed. Draw that toes in. Nice. Right through the outside of the thigh, hip, and glute. Squeeze through the core. We're going to feel what it's like when we take the ball out and increase that lever length in 4, 3, reach up, grab onto that ball, extend your top leg, don't drop, flex the foot, push the heel away, and then go back to that little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down, thighs are in parallel, lift as high as you can go, lengthen through that leg, and take the pressure right here to the right hip. Finish, you have 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, slowly lower down. Nice job. All right, we got to do it all on the other side. So if you flip yourself over, again, ball or towel is just going to go to the side to start. We'll grab it in a minute. So now you know what we're doing. If you decide that you do not want the ball at all, totally fine. You can do the whole thing without it. You can bend that bottom arm to take the head in the hand. You can straighten out the arm to take the head on the upper part of the arm. Totally up to you. Again, restack the hips. Find a slight little pike in the hips as the toes go to the front corner of your mat. Again, if you don't like the point and flex in the ankle, just stay neutral. Pointing that left toe, we lift up and we flex as we lower. We point as we lift, we flex as we lower. Nice job. So again, trying not to lean too far back as we take that leg up and down, priming here through the outside of the thigh, hip, and glute. Again, bracing through the front of the core through our entire series on this left side. Nice job, doing great. You got 4 more and then we're going to start to go forward and back. Take your time, 2 more. Don't drop that left leg coming right into parallel. We're going to point the toe. We draw forward as we pulse twice, back behind as we pulse twice. Again, our goal is for that left leg to stay in parallel through the entire range of motion here. Opening up through the front of the hip as we take the leg back, but it's the squeeze in that left glute that pulls it back, not the push forward in the hip. And then as that leg comes forward, giving you that nice big opportunity to squeeze through the front of the core. Again, always your pace, your range of motion. Let's take 4 more here, and then we go into those big circles. Nice job. 2 more. Now with that straight leg, we're going to kick forward to start. We lift up, back, and lower down. We go forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. So your range of motion, you might quickly realize, is different on this left side than it was on the right. Totally fine. Our flexibility, our mobility, our dominance is more on one side than it is on the other, which is why we isolate sides. So I want you to be here in this left hip and just move through the range of motion that's challenging, but you can still feel comfortable in that range of motion. So think about which way you're going. Let's take 1 more big circle, coming back through center, just reverse. That left foot goes back, up, forward, and down. Back, up, forward, and down. Again, try not to rock back and forth through the shoulders. Really engage through the core so that we can take that larger range of motion to open up through that left hip. You got it. Finish here. 2 more big circles and then we'll grab onto that ball or towel. Nice. Just coming to let that left leg come down. We're going to grab our ball or our towel. Again, if you do not want either, you can stay without it. Squeezing the ball between the calf and the hamstring. Restack the hips, bend both knees, and flex both ankles. Just like we started now with that bent knee, we go back to that little lift and lower. Not here as long, but I just want you to feel the ball behind the knee. Now that we've decreased our lever length, we've bent the knee, the foot is now closer to the hip, okay? We're not putting quite as much pressure in that hip joint, so we can take a little bigger range of motion. We can take a little quicker pace. 2 more. Without dropping the leg, come into parallel. Knee draws to the chest as we pulse twice, back behind as we pulse twice. Again, front of the body pulls the knee forward, back of the body takes the foot back behind. Again, try not to lean forward, particularly with that left shoulder here. Take 4 more. You got 2 more each way. Now we're not going to drop the leg completely, but we are going to bring the feet together to connect for that clamshell. So we take bottom foot to the floor, Top foot's on top of that bottom foot. They stay connected as we open up the hip, taking the knee to the ceiling, and then feel that big squeeze down through the inner thigh to draw those legs right back into parallel. Again, try not to lean back, particularly in this one. I want you to stop yourself so that you can stay stacked, working through the outside of that left hip. Now, 2 more. We're going to open up, externally rotate, knee to the ceiling, pointing the toe this time. Knee drives to the shoulder, big toes come back to touch. Again, external rotation in the hip. We've made some space down that side body so that the knees can come to the chest, knees can come to the shoulder, and big toes go back to touch. Did you see me just smiling a little right there? You got it. Come on, come on. You got 4 more. 2 more. Now, knee will stay up, feet come back together. Roll the hip over as the knees touch, open the hip up as the toes touch. We go knee to knee, toe to toe, knee to knee, toe to toe. Movement is in the hip, not through the chest, and the torso and the shoulders. So, internal rotation in the hip as the knees come to touch, external rotation in the hip as the toes come to touch. Again, I need you to feel this control and stability through the front of the core as we go knee to knee, toe to toe, knee to knee, toe to toe. You got this. Come on. 4 more. 3. Take your time. We are not going to drop that left leg. It comes right back into parallel. You can stay pointed or flexed in the ankle, and we draw teeny tiny little circles with that left leg. Again, small range of motion. See if you can pick up the pace. Brace through the belly and feel the work as those hips quiet. You got it. Think about which direction you're going. You got 4 here. 3, just coming through center, reverse the direction of those circles and taking it the other way. You got it. Can you kind of feel those inner thighs really squeeze together here? You have 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, don't drop. Coming into parallel, draw that heel to the glute. Lift that left leg up as high as you can go. Again, knee facing forward for the outside thigh and glute. Then you take that little baby pulse, 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Squeeze. Come on, you got this. Nice job. Flexing the foot. You got 4 more here. 3, 2, reach up, grab that ball or towel, extend the left leg, thighs are in parallel, flex the foot, push the heel away, and then take that little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Nice, lift up through the chest, engage through the core. I promise that leg is not gonna fall off. I just need you to finish. You have 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, slowly lower down. Nice job. Again, you can push yourself up. You can take that ball, just set it to the side. Once again, we're going to find it in just a minute. If you need some water, feel free to grab it. If you want to push back to child's pose, feel free. We're going to come to have a seat whenever you are ready. We are going to bend through that left knee and let the right leg extend long. So we're going to do everything up on our seat to start, and then I'm going to take you down to the mat and we're going to start to put it all together. So our hands are going to come back behind the hip bones. Fingertips can face the heels, okay? So when we take the hands to the floor, I want you to push through the palms and really lift up through that chest, taking the sternum towards the ceiling. That left knee's just going to stay bent. Just like when we were on our side, we're going to flex that right ankle and work to draw the toes towards the shin, okay? As we lift up through the chest, it's going to take the rib cage off of the hip bones so that we can squeeze through the front of the core. Work's immediately going to go into that top right quad as we lift and lower that right leg. You got it. So we're working to draw the thighs right into parallel. We are hovering that right heel just over the floor and then driving up. Again, try not to round through that upper back here. Nice. So I know we just did a lot of work through the outside of the hips. Yep. But we're going to take just a teeny tiny bit more. 4 here. 3, belly in and up. Now lift and hold that right leg. Can you take a little baby pulse? 1 inch up, 1 inch down. You have 4 here. 3, 2, don't drop. We go lateral. We open, we close, we open, we close. Yep, right back into that outside of that right hip. 4 here. 3, come on, big deep breath. Come back to center. Don't drop. Take your little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. You have 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, right knee bends, right foot goes to the floor. Lift up, roll those shoulders back. Nice, roll out the wrist. We're gonna do the exact same thing on that left side. So right knee's gonna bend with the foot to the floor and stretch that left leg long. We are flexing this ankle, drawing the toes towards the shin. Hands come back behind the back. As we get tired, we wanna round through that upper back. Push through the palms and lift up. Let the core help you as we take it into the quad. That left heel hovers just over the floor, and then we drive up. Nice. Your leg might be straight. I have such tight hamstrings that as my leg goes up, my knee naturally has a little bit of a softness to it. It's totally up to you. You got it. Again, hover that knee. Pull that belly in and up. Let the quad fire. Nice job. Doing great. 4, and we hold it up. 2 more. Now, lift and hold. Thighs are in parallel. Take a little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. You have 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, don't drop, go lateral. We open, we close, we open, we close. Nice, lift up through that chest. Feel the inner thigh help to draw you back in. Come on, 4 here, 3, left, right knee stays, 2, come back in. Thighs are in parallel. Take that little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Come on, finish, finish. You have 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, left knee bends, left foot goes to the floor, sit yourself up, roll the shoulders back. Nice, roll out those wrists. We're gonna come onto your mat. We're gonna bend the knees and place the feet flat to the floor. We're gonna reach those arms out nice and long. Give me a nice big shoulder roll. So here you can feel the articulation through the spine as we take a C curve in the back. Roll 1 vertebrae at a time down, reaching those arms up overhead. Chin tucks to chest as we roll ourselves all the way up to sit. As we come up, you can give me that nice big shoulder roll. Chin to chest as we roll ourselves back 1 vertebrae at a time. Arms can reach up overhead. They can come to the chest, whatever is most comfortable for you. So we're working to make this movement as fluid and as controlled as possible here. So when we roll up, there is inevitably a spot where you feel like you kind of have to jerk or use a little momentum. When you find that spot, I want you to exhale and pull that belly in and see if we can try to make that movement a little more fluid. Now, you can keep both feet on the floor with the knees bent, or we're going to take that right leg and lift up, rolling up, reaching the hands towards the right foot. Roll yourself all the way back. Again, arms can reach up overhead. You can just draw the hands back to the chest, whatever is most comfortable for you. Doing great. Goal here is to go back into that right quad. Thighs try to stay in parallel, especially when we roll up. We have a tendency to want to drop that right foot to use some momentum here. So I want you to try to keep the strength in the quad, to keep the thighs in parallel. You got it. I need 2 more right here. All the way up and all the way back. Give me 1 more. Now, can you roll yourself all the way back up onto those sits bones? Reach the hands towards the foot. We stay here. Work is in the leg as we take that little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. You have 8, 6, 4, 3, 2. Right leg stays lifted. Roll all the way back flat to your back. Let that right foot come to the floor. Left leg's gonna lift. Same thing on the other side. Chin tucks to chest as we roll ourselves all the way up to sit. Roll yourself all the way back onto your back. Rolling yourself up 1 vertebrae at a time. Rolling yourself all the way back. Again, left foot can go back to the floor with the knee bent. That's fantastic. If you are trying to lift through that left leg, thighs are going to stay in parallel. Use the quad. Use the front of the core as we reach towards the foot and roll yourself back. You got it. Come on, doing great. Nice and controlled through the core, using that belly to lift and lower. Let's take 2 more all the way through. You got it. 1 more. Now, we're gonna lift back up and hold. We hold through the torso. Pulse goes in that left leg. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Flex the foot, push the heel away. 4 here. 3, 2, left leg stays lifted. Roll all the way back, flat to your back. Take that left foot back to the floor. Upper body releases. Draw both knees into the chest. You can grab onto the backs of the thighs or the tops of the shins. Feel free to rock side to side here. Head can go side to side to release the back of the neck. So from here, we're going to take both feet flat to the floor. Hands are going to go back behind the head. So just like we were before, both knees can be bent with the feet flat on the floor. I'll give you the option to lift the leg in a minute. We're going to lift up 1 shoulder blade at a time as we reach right elbow towards the left knee. Come back to center and switch to the other side. So we're just taking opposite elbow to opposite knee, crossing the center line of the body once again. If you want, you can keep the knees bent with the feet on the floor, or you can stretch those legs long to hover the legs and move into a more traditional bicycle or crisscross. Totally up to you. We're lifting that chin up to lengthen through the back of the neck. I really don't have much of a care what the lower body looks like. I care more that you're lifting up, finding some rotation through the top of the spine as we pull that shoulder blade all the way up off the floor. Nice. Let's find 4 here. 3. Take your time. 2 more. Draw that right elbow to the left knee and hold your left leg, your right leg, the leg that's long, is going to stay put. It can either stay long or you can take the foot to the floor. Up to you. Just this left leg moves. As we come to center, lengthen through the left leg, then come back, right elbow to left knee. Lengthen, come back. So staying on this one side, drawing right elbow to left knee, right leg stays long, or right foot on the floor. Come on, 4 here. 3, 2 more. Draw the elbow to the knee and hold. Take a little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down for 8, 6, 4, 3. Go back to that crisscross, side to side. Come on, come on. What we do on one side, we gotta do on the other. You can take the feet back to the floor or stretch them long. This is your pace, but I need you slow and in control. 4 here. 3, 2, left elbow goes to that right knee. Pull that left shoulder blade up. Left leg stays long or foot to the floor. Just the right leg moves. Come back to center and lengthen. Left elbow to right knee. Pull and open. Come on. Draw that left shoulder all the way up as we reach to the outside of the thigh or the knee. 4 here. 3, 2 more. Take the left elbow to the right knee and hold. Pull that shoulder blade up. Little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. You have 8, 6, 4. It wouldn't be me if we didn't go back. One last time. Find that crisscross for 8, 6, 4, 3, 2. Knees come to the chest. Release the upper body to the floor. Again, you can grab onto the backs of the thighs or the tops of the shins. Feel free to rock side to side. So our last little series, I'm going to take the Pilates 100 and I'm going to cut it into 5, okay? So if you've taken my Pilates class before and know anything about me, my Pilates 100 morphs into the Pilates 4 or 500, okay? Just is what it is. But we're going to cut it into 5 and I'm going to put something else in between, okay? Our goal is to go one right after the other. However, if you need to lower down through the upper body at any point in time, please go for it. Now, you might choose to keep the upper body connected to the floor the entire time, which is fantastic. Or if you lift up to start and at any point in time, the back of the neck or the upper back starts to bother you, just allow the upper body to release back to the floor, okay? When we move into the Pilates 100, you have 3 options with the legs. You can bend the knees and keep the feet flat to the floor. You can draw the knees up into tabletop, bringing the feet up off the floor. If you come here, please make sure the knees stay tracking right over the hip bones. We don't want to draw the knees into the chest because that disengages through the core. Nice and strong here. If you want just a little bit more, you can stretch those legs long at whatever angle is most comfortable for you and your lower back. So when we come back to the Pilates 100 each time, that's your choice to come to. Okay, so pick your poison in the legs for the Pilates 100. Upper body can stay down, or we're going to drive up, pulling the head, neck, and shoulders all the way up off the floor. We reach the hands by the sides of the hips, and we find a little pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. So from here, if we're lifted through the upper body, chin to chest, gaze goes to the belly button. Pull that belly in as we push the lower back flat into the floor. You have 4 here. 3, 2, draw both knees into the chest. Hold. Either left foot to the floor or stretch the left leg long. Right knee stays in. We pulse twice and switch to the other side. Single leg scissors here as we just take one knee down the center line of the body and then switch to the other. Again, feet can go back to the floor with the knees bent if you prefer. You got it. 4 here. 3. Take your time. Push that lower back into the mat. 1 more. Both knees draw back into the chest. Going back into that Pilates 100. Reset back through the upper body. Pick the legs. Hands reach by the hips. And we find that little pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. So look down. If the belly's pushing out, pull it back in. Push that lower back flat to the floor. Chin to the chest to release the back of the neck here. Come on. Finish. You have 4 here. 3, 2, staying up. Both knees come to the chest, grabbing onto the tops of the shins. Use the legs to pull the upper body back up off the floor. Now, both arms, both legs are going to stretch away into a little V. Knees come to the chest as we circle sweep the arms to the side. We open into that little V and circle sweep. Feet can go to the floor with the knees bent if you prefer, instead of straightening those legs long. Totally up to you. Every time the knees come into the chest, use it as an opportunity to pull those shoulder blades all the way up off the floor. You have 4 here. Inhale as we reach, exhale as we fold. 2, 1 more. Draw the knees in, reset yourself. If you need to take the upper body back flat to the floor, go for it. You ready? Pick the legs for the Pilates 100. Lift up through that upper body, reach the arms, and find your little pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Doing great. Come on, come on. Keep breathing. Maybe we take those little short staccato inhale and exhales. Maybe we take a deep breath in for the count of 5 and an exhale for the count of 5. You have 4, 3, 2, keeping the legs straight. Right knee comes to the chest. You can grab behind the thigh, calf, or ankle. Lift up. Again, double pulse with that straight leg and then switch to the other side. Just that little pull of the leg coming towards the face, and then we switch. You can go back to the bent knee. You can take the foot back to the floor. Your choice. Come on, you got it. Let's take 4 here. 3, 2 more. Take your time. 1 more each side. Knees draw to the chest. Lift up. Take your head. Shake it. Yes. Nod it. No. Here comes lap number 4. Feet to the floor. Tabletop or stretch the legs long. Pilates 100. Let's rock and roll. Come on, come on, come on. Push right here. Squeeze through the front of the core. You should be feeling it long by now. You got it. Come on. Keep pushing. You have 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Don't move. Take the hands behind the head. Again, we're not pulling on the back of the neck. They're there just for a light support. If the knees are bent, straighten the legs. We're going to hover those legs just over the floor. Draw the legs back over the hips. We slowly hover the legs. We slowly lift. Now knees can bend and you can just tap the toes to the floor if you do not like the length through the legs here. Come on, pull those shoulder blades up. Use the front of the core. You've got 4 here. Breathe through it. Come on, 2 more. Take your time. 1 more. Now lift those legs all the way back up. Hands reach back by the side. Grab onto the backs of the thighs. Lift up through the upper body. Find your stance in that Pilates 100. Let's take it to the end. Come on, find that little baby pulse right here. I need you to let go and drain whatever else you have left in that tank. Let it all burn right here. Finish strong. You have 10, 8, come on, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, knees come back into the chest. Upper body releases to the floor. You can grab onto the backs of the thighs or the tops of the shins. Feel free to rock side to side. Head can go side to side to release the back of the neck. Nice job. All right, when you're ready, grab onto that ball for me one last time. If you don't have the ball, totally fine. Just do it without it. With your towel, you're gonna pull the legs a little too close together. So if you have a ball, we're gonna take the ball and draw it right between the inner thighs. If you do not have a ball, A-okay. Just keep the thighs right in parallel. We're going to draw the heels about 1 inch or 2 from the base of the glutes. So if you have the ball, squeeze on that ball. If you do not have a ball, I want you to keep the thighs in parallel so the knees are coming right out of the hip joints. Thighs are not going to come to touch, but I want you to feel the muscles in the inner thighs draw together. We're going to push through the feet as we lift the hips into our bridge and slowly lower back down. We lift, we lower. Nice, doing great. So I want you to feel the feet push. We're not letting the knees flail open to the side. We're using those inner thighs to either draw together or to squeeze on that ball. So I'm going to layer you up one last time from here. If you do not want to layer up, totally fine. You can just stay with these singles. 4 here. 3, 2 more. Now lift and hold. Hip bones go nice and high. Weight shifts to the backs of the shoulders as we push through the feet and take a little baby pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Now you can stay here with the feet flat to the floor the whole time. 4 here. 3, 2. Now lift and hold. Stay still. We lift the heels. We lower. We lift. We lower. Weight shifts to the balls of the feet and we lower the heels back down. 4 here. 3, 2. Now can you lift and hold the heels up off the floor? Go back to the pulse in the hips. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Feel those inner thighs squeeze together. Again, whole foot can be on the floor if you don't like the heels lifted. 4 here. 3. Keeping the heels up. Take the hips to the floor as soon as they tap. Drive back up. We lower, we lift. We lower, we lift. Finish. 4 here. 3. Take your time. 2 more. Now lift and hold, 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 hold. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Stay still. Lift the hip bones as high as you can. Hold still. 4, 3. If the heels are lifted, take the heels to the floor. Hold, hold, hold. You have 4 here. 3, 2. Slowly lower down. Nice job. Okay, here's your cherry on top. If you have a ball, we're going to take the ball and place it flat to the floor. If you do not have a ball, we're going to go back to exactly what you were just doing with both feet flat to the floor. If you have a ball, I personally like to drive my heels up into the ball. Feel the inner thighs draw together. We're going to push through the feet to lift the hips to the ceiling and slowly lower back down. Same bridge. Now I've just made the stability underneath the feet non-existent. You got it. Come on. Push through the feet. If you're wobbly, 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 you are doing it right. You got it. Come on. Wherever you are, you've got 4 here. 3. Take your time. 2 more. Now, lift and hold. Whether the feet are on the ball or flat to the floor, I need you to push the hips as high as you can go. Squeeze through those glutes. Fire off. 1 more time. Feel those inner thighs draw together. Hold still and squeeze for 8, 6, 4, 3, 2. Take the hip bones all the way back flat to the floor. If the feet were on the ball, Roll it to the side. Draw the knees to the chest. Grab onto the backs of the thighs or the tops of the shins. Feel free to rock side to side. Head can go side to side to release the back of the neck. Nice job. From here, let that left foot connect to the floor. Right ankle crosses over the left knee, figure 4. You can stay right here or you can pick the left foot up, grabbing behind the thigh, flexing the ankles, drawing the left knee in as that right knee pushes away. Nice big opening through the outside of that right hip after all that work we did in the hips today. Nice job. So we're just going to unwind and switch to the other side. Right foot starts on the floor as the left ankle crosses over that right knee. You can stay or you can lift up. Again, both ankles are flexed. Right knee draws in as the left knee pushes away from the center line of the body. Awesome job. So when you're ready, we're going to let both feet connect back to the floor. Stretch the legs long and reach those arms up overhead. Chin tucks to the chest as we roll ourselves all the way up to sit. Can you flex the ankles and reach towards the thigh, the shins, or the toes? Now, chin can come all the way to the chest. Roll the shoulder blades open. Open up through the backs of the legs here and through the shoulder blades in the upper back. Then when you're ready, slowly come all the way up to sit. We're going to soften the knees here as we prop ourselves up onto the balls of the feet. Once again, hands can connect to the floor, shins or thighs as we lengthen through the legs in your forward fold. So we have a nice softness in both knees. Hands connect somewhere. Can you put just a little bit bigger bend into that right knee to open up the outside of the left hip and down the left IT band? Then when you're ready, come back to center. Soften through that left knee. Slowly come back to center. Both knees are nice and soft. Roll yourself all the way up to stand. One vertebrae at a time. As you come up, give me a nice big shoulder roll. So we're going to take the feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. I want you to open up those arms nice and wide and let the thumbs lead to the ceiling. Sternum is nice and proud as we open up. Now I want you to soften the knees and sink the hips back into your mobility squat. Hands can come to the thighs. So you can find some movement side to side. You can stay still. So I want you to plant the feet and let that right shoulder just dip towards the center line of the body. Slowly come back to center and switch to the other side. Let that left shoulder dip to the center. Slowly come back to center. As we stand ourselves up, roll one vertebrae at a time. Head, neck, and shoulders come up last. Open up those arms one more time. Nice. As we soften the knees, let the arms drop. Give me a nice deep breath in and let it all go. Nice job today, guys. Thank you all so much for being here with me. Please stay safe, stay healthy. Let me know if you need anything and have a lovely, lovely day.